pillow's all messed up. I need to fluff it. All right, hey, this is serious. If you found out that your spouse was emailing back and forth with an old flame and didn't tell you, would you consider that cheating? Or what if they met up with each other but nothing physical happened? Everyone has different ideas when it comes to infidelity, and here to help us define cheating is licensed professional counselor Lindsay Walden. Good morning.
Morning.
So this is a really interesting topic, because I think a lot of people would say, oh no, if nothing happened, that it's not really cheating. But would you say, I mean, all marriages kind of have different definitions?
Yes, absolutely. And I think that's the first thing, is that if the couple comes in, my office, and they say, you know what, we've decided we're both going to open this relationship up. Okay, that's very different than if somebody says, yeah, well, he or she talks to this friend all of the time and doesn't really tell me, or they hide their text messages from it, but they say nothing's going on. Well, nothing physical's happened, but if emotionally that's the person they're going to for support or for advice, or maybe they just have a funny joke, and rather than sharing it with significant other, they're like, oh, I'm going to share it with this person.
So what should they do? Should it be really clear, maybe at the beginning of the relationship, what each one considers to be cheating and what boundaries should be set?
That's really hard to say, because I think at the beginning of a relationship, there's always this kind of, we're kind of walking around in the clouds, and we're very happy and in love.
Or not beginning of a relationship, but maybe beginning of marriage.
Possibly, or at least just having a clear idea. Like, let's say that, okay, so I'm married. If I knew my husband had, an ex of his, and he was really close with them, and he was calling her regularly, and they were just having this back and forth, I don't know that I would be super okay with that.
Right.
But I also think it's about how much would I know? Would he be hiding it from me? It's that every relationship's going to have their own kind of unique stuff in that way.
So they need to set up ground rules, at least have a conversation.
Or if something doesn't feel right, I always tell people, I'm like, if something doesn't feel right at your gut level, don't hold it in until it festers into something so big that it's just going to blow up in your face. Like, go ahead and try and give voice to it when something feels off, rather than telling yourself, oh no, I'll just forget about it.
Because you won't.
Probably not. And it just kind of builds. It just kind of stays there.
Are emotional relationships worse than physical, or are they just as bad?
I think it just depends. I don't know that, like, worse than. I don't know. Definitely can sometimes be more painful to feel that it's like, oh, if it's just physical, like, oh, anybody could do that.
Right.
But if it's something about emotions and connection, sometimes it can hurt a lot more, because it feels like, oh, you're sharing these really vulnerable kind of intimate things about yourself, because,
I would think it would be worse.
Yeah, because sex isn't always intimate. It can just be physical, whereas emotions a lot of times are considered more intimate.
Now, you say something really interesting. You say that usually the problem is not the person they're cheating with. It usually means what, if they're cheating?
Well, a lot of times I'll say, okay, so let's say we've got, couple. It's heterosexual couple, guy and girl is seeing somebody at work on the side. Rarely does it have anything to do with the person she's seeing on the side, as much as that side relationship is kind of filling up something that she's not getting in her primary relationship. And it's not that it's the guy's fault, and I try and take blame out of it, but to say, okay, it's going to take two people to make a relationship work. It's going to take two people not to make a relationship work. So if we're both going to say we're going to commit to this and we're going to do this, we're going to work through it, then we got to kind of get everybody else out of the relationship, because that's not how we solve a problem, by adding someone else to the mix, usually.
Gotcha. This is Lindsay's expertise. Couples counseling, sex therapy. I'm serious. We posted a link to Lindsay's website on GreatDaySt.Louis.com. You should really check it out. Thank you.
Thanks.
Matt?
Thank you, Virginia. Next on Great Day St. Louis, help for those of you out there with sleep apnea. Dr. Anna Smith is here to show you how you can ditch this cumbersome CPAP machine. She's also got details on a new sleep test that you can do right at home.
All right, and I want you to take a look at this young lady right here. Smiling, laughing, shaking hands. Yeah, you'd never think she was actually talking to a hitman and, planning a murder of her husband. That's coming up later on Great Day.